Hello everyone, welcome back to the channel. I am the Mayor's Madman. Before we get started, make sure you hit the like and subscribe button and the notification bell so you're aware every time I upload a vid. In today's video, we're talking about Michigan recruiting, specifically that Mid-Atlantic DMV area. Aaron Chiles, Darian Mayo, Dominic Nichols, and the like. Plus, I'm upset. Vegas Insider released their championship odds, and Michigan is fourth. It's disrespect. I'm gonna tell them why I'm mad. I'm mad because Vegas Insider released their NCAA National Championship winner futures, if you will, the winner odds, if you will, for the national championship, the college football national championship, the college football playoff national championship. And it went a little something like this. At the top, Georgia, nobody expects any different, right? They are the two-time defending national champion. This particular season, this upcoming season, they have a cupcake of a schedule, and that includes their SEC games this season. So I expect them to be in a prime position to be able to challenge for another championship. Not upset about it. Number two, Alabama at plus 600. By the way, Georgia was at plus 220. Alabama at plus 600 is tied with the other state at plus 600. This is where we have an issue. The other state backed into a college football playoff last season after being smacked at home by Michigan, of course, right? They got an opportunity to play for the championship anyway, even after that. Didn't play in the Big Ten championship game, any of that, because they lost that right because they got smacked at home by Michigan. Moving on. Alabama didn't even make the college football playoff, but I get it, right? Every year, maybe you don't make it. That's fine with me. Alabama, though, does have some quarterback issues, at least from what we saw in the spring. They hired the offensive coordinator from Notre Dame, who wasn't exactly lighting up the scoreboard last season, right? He gets the job. Then the quarterback from Notre Dame, who wasn't exactly lighting up the scoreboard either, although he did have a good showing in that bowl game. Tyler Buchner, former five-star quarterback, is now transfers to Alabama. So it's a lot of muck, if you will, in the quarterback room for Alabama. That isn't even, at least they have that, right? Because they had a guy last year, a young guy who came in and played serviceable while Bryce Young was out. That you add Tyler Buchner to that mix, they have another 4 or 5-star quarterback in that quarterback room right now. I mean, they got a decent room. The other state, however, is going from a 2-year starter in C.J. Stroud, the second overall pick in the NFL draft, to either McCord or Brown. Either one doesn't have much experience. McCord, I guess, played in a couple games. Brown, 0 experience. And you think that their odds are better than Michigan's? Right? They have to play Michigan again, by the way, this year, this time in Ann Arbor, where they still need to exercise a demon from 2021. And you think their odds are better than Michigan's? Michigan, who they gave a plus 1,000 chance to. So it's a little disrespectful, but I digress. Let me know in the comment section what you think about it. What do you give Michigan in terms of odds for this upcoming season and the championship? Moving right along. Michigan Athletic Director Ward Manuel has hired a strategic advisor to help Michigan Athletics with NIL. Of course, that's name, image, likeness efforts, effective immediately. Charles Grace, a Michigan alum, graduated 1998, former executive for Google. In fact, he ran Google's office in Ann Arbor for 15 years, will be brought on to be the strategic advisor. He initially signed a 3-year deal. I got to shout out to my guy Crack the Nut for this one, who sent me this one. Shout out to you, sir. Thank you. He signed a 3-month deal. I don't know if I said 3-year, but 3-month deal initially. Hopefully, though, what this does is, in addition, this guy obviously has a track record of successful businesses, of running successful business. In fact, he ran a $500 million marketing and strategic marketing program for Google. So I have all the faith that he can help Michigan in this specific area. But what I really want to happen is for this to become more of a permanent role, not just a 3-month thing, and maybe even an assistant AD situation where, I know it might not be popular, or maybe it is popular, and maybe Ward Emanuel, I'm sure this wouldn't be popular, but an assistant AD kind of role for Mr. Scrace, or Scrassi, however he says that last name. But this would be excellent if Michigan can hold on to this guy for long term and he can assist with the NIL. Of course, Michigan's latest NIL venture, Hail Impact, has gotten off to a slower than expected start. We already know Michigan lost big man for the basketball team, Hunter Dickinson, for really the express reason was NIL. I mean, there's no getting around it. He made about $70,000 a year ago. They were talking about deal up to $4 million for his time at Kansas this upcoming season. So that's a massive difference. And I wouldn't blame anybody who took up a pay raise like that for anything, by the way. So I can't blame Hunter Dickinson, and hopefully Mr. Scrace or Scrassi can come in and help Michigan in this area. Moving along. Since my last video, of course, Michigan picked up a commitment from 3-star athlete Cole Sullivan. So Michigan now has 17 commits in the 2024 class, and are still ranked number 1, of course, in the 2024 class. So shout out to Cole Sullivan. And I looked at his tape. He does not look like a 3-star to me, at least a 4-star, as he is quick to the ball. His reaction time is spectacular, and he lays the lumber from that linebacker position. But I also think Michigan had ideas of playing him at some tight end too. I think that's why they recruited him as an athlete. But again, big pickup for Michigan with Cole Sullivan. Moving along, though, to what we really came here for in this video, and that's the recruiting in the DMV. And for those who don't know, the DMV is DC, Maryland, Virginia, and that area is peak and is prime real estate for Michigan. Teams like Michigan, Maryland, Rutgers, Penn State really recruits that area a lot well, and then some ACC schools as well. But Michigan really doing a bang-up job this recruiting cycle and in the next, actually, in that area. In fact, Michigan recently had running back Iverson Rocket Howard on campus, his first ever trip to Ann Arbor. He had this to say about it. The visit was amazing. I definitely enjoyed the weight room, or the rate training program. Coach Harbaugh mainly taught to me. They told me straight up a lot of good people are produced there, and they are definitely going to win games in the future, but take my time and make the right decision. So Michigan definitely making an impact with Howard, who after his visit said Michigan was in the lead for his recruitment. Howard is a 2025 prospect out of Gaithersburg, Maryland. In that area goes to Quince Orchard High School, so be on the lookout for him. Speaking more about Mike Hart, he said, I believe we got a good connection. And the whole day he was being straight up and honest about everything football related. Hart, of course, former Michigan player, star running back, is now Michigan's running back coach. And this recruiting cycle, especially in the 2024 recruiting cycle, he's really stepped his game up with landing Jordan Marshall, obviously being in the mix for players like Dupree and Taylor Tatum. So Mike Hart really making a stand here in terms of his recruiting in the 2024 and 25 classes. He also went on to say, I would say the amount of talent that Michigan produces after they leave Michigan, because I would like to be in that group of talent that leaves and end up making a lot of money afterwards. So Mr. Iverson, Rocket Howard, and what he observed during his time at Michigan. Speaking of guys in that area, and on the other side of the ball, Michigan has been a leader for Aaron Chiles, also Dominic Nichols, both of whom out of Maryland. Michigan is also one of the leaders for Aaron Chiles' high school teammate, Mr. Darian Mayo. And both of those guys would be great get. All three of those guys, by the way, would be great gets for Michigan. Speaking specifically of Aaron Chiles, though, he is a 4-star linebacker out of Olney, Maryland, Our Lady Good Counsel High School. He is currently ranked 103 in the entire country, the 8th ranked linebacker in the country, and the number 1 player in the state of Maryland. He recently released his top 3 that included Michigan, Maryland, and Florida. So Aaron Chiles is a person that Michigan is certainly interested in. They have been recruiting him heavily. In fact, I'm told that at one point he was even ready to make the decision and commit to Michigan, but was directed by his father to, play the process out, which he did. And he will be making his college decision in early July after his official visits, where he has Michigan. Well, he will be visiting Michigan June 23rd. Speaking of Michigan recruiting him, he had this to say: it was a very tough decision to narrow it down to a top 3, but I just felt like Michigan not only showed that they wanted me, but also they needed me. I believe in Coach Partridge. I believe in Coach Harbaugh and what he's done with the program. The people make the place. It feels like family. They also bring a great education and are winning. They are like the complete package. Chiles also went on to speak about Michigan defensive coordinator Jesse Minter and Chris Partridge, the linebackers coach, both impressing him. He said, quote, Coach Minter is one of the best defensive coordinators in college football right now. He runs the NFL style scheme, so that would get me ready for the next level. Coach Partridge's resume speaks for itself. He put people like Jabril Peppers in the league. I really trust Coach Partridge. I really believe in him. So Michigan is in a great position to land the number 1 player in the state of Maryland. And of course, I spoke about his teammate, Darian Mayo, and Chiles also spoke about his teammate and how it would be to play with him again on the next level. And he had this to say, saying, of course, we've talked about playing together again, but I have to do what's best for me and he has to do what's best for him. He's a dog. I've seen the improvements he's made. He's long and has a great wingspan. He's a great part of our team. That would be an amazing tandem for Michigan to have. Chiles stands at 6'3", 220 pounds, and like I said, is ranked number 1 in the entire state of Maryland. Moving on to some other prospects in the DMV. Speaking of Darian Mayo, Michigan is right in the thick of things in his recruitment as well. Looks like it'll be a battle between old rivals between Michigan and the other state for Mayo's signature on signing day. Mayo is a specimen, 6 feet 6 inches tall, 240 pounds, also out of Good Counsel in Olney, Maryland. Of course, he is ranked 185 nationally, the 14th ranked edge rusher, and the number 6 player in the state of Maryland. So Michigan trying to pull off the double with Good Counsel players there in Darian Mayo and Aaron Chiles, which would be great for that defense, and Jesse Minter and company. So I'll keep you posted on Mayo and Chiles. And of course, lastly, we'll end it off with Dominic Nichols, who received yet another crystal ball in Michigan's favor and is expected to commit to the Wolverines when the time comes. All that, and I'll keep you posted on those official visits as well. Be sure to follow me at Maze Madman on Twitter, TikTok, everywhere that social media allows, at Maze Madman. Until next time, I gotta get out of here. Stay angry, my friends. I'm upset.
Ladies and gentlemen, this might be our best season ever. Ladies, we're about to go through